Hey y'all, guess what time it is? It's the Grolic Saves the World time.
All right, the Grolic saves the world.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're getting big, our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world. We're getting big, our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world. We're getting big, our worries are mixed. Let's have some cake. While the Grolic saves the world.
Hello, welcome to the Grolic Saves the World.
Yeah,
Thank you for listening.
we're back.
I am Adam Caton Holland,
My name is Ben Roy.
And I'm Andrew Orvidal.
and
Did
we
I
are the
screw up the order?
well-oiled machine that is the Grolic Saves the World. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank
The
you for
worst part
supporting.
is we actually tried to rehearse who went in what order, and I think I messed up.
There's a little delay on your part that
There
made
was.
everyone listening wonder who really is next in this
and
order.
what I think is important when podcasting, to project an air of uncertainty as hosts within the first 30 seconds to a minute in, to let them know no one's guiding
Exactly.
the ship, and for the next hour will be aimless, and you're wasting your time. Welcome back to the Grolic Saves the World.
We're just a three-headed Cerberus. Really got a mind meld going over
We
here.
sure do.
You
We can
have
finish
been
each
playing.
other's sandwiches.
Way too much D&D. Three-headed Cerberus. What was that?
Whatever, it's a thing. The Cerberus is this like multi-headed dog. It's not from D&D. It's a mythology.
Greek mythology. Ben, read a book. I think there's a perception out there that we just get along so well, that we're a team, and that everyone, you can hear it in these intros.
Where is this going?
Well, I've been going deep on some subreddits, and everyone says you guys get along so great.
Yeah. I think that's true. I mean, I think there's a perception amongst people that we are besties, which we are. I'm not trying to diminish how close we are. I know a lot about you. And after the hot yoga episode and those clear shower doors that you both thought were opaque, which we're not, I know more about you than I wanted to. So we're definitely BFFs, but we do fight. Like this episode was tough to come up with. We were trying to figure out what to do for an episode, what challenge to come up with, and we inevitably ended up in a squabble.
And it was a text exchange squabble. And I think if people read through our text exchange, they'd be appalled at the passive aggression and the sort of insults that are joking but are so not joking that we lob at each other.
And this
on a
harkens
near
back
daily basis.
when we were creating Those Who Can't in our writer's room. Our style of interacting is very sibling-like. It's what you would expect how siblings might talk to each other without a care for, is someone else speaking right now, or did someone else just have an idea? That does not matter. I will now be speaking. And so we had this style, and I think there was definitely the other writers on the show. There was definitely I think an acclimation process for that. Like, oh, like these guys talk to each other differently than the average.
Well, yeah,
people
and typical
might.
with a family argument, sometimes what'll happen is you'll be appalled at how quickly it can erupt into just a shouting match and then turn around and immediately, like one time we're just like, that's a terrible fucking idea and I'm not participating in it. And then Andrew's like, you have a hole in the bottom of your shoe. Do you want me to buy you a new pair of shoes? And then I'm like, that's really nice of you, but I can get my own. Like there's this manic nature to the up and down because we have been through a lot together. We've, we've been friends for such a long time. But we are, I think very, very, very different.
Right.
Yes.
And I think we kind of hit upon that maybe if we understood each other's personalities a little bit better, we'd be a little bit more.
I already fucking
with
know
the
you
other.
guys.
But I
See,
think
that's what I'm talking about.
oh God,
You're not
this
even-
know-it-all
Not
asshole.
even giving me the chance for an olive branch. You're
Welcome
just
to the
making
Those Who
olive
Can't
branch.
writers room with
I
Ben
already know.
Roy.
I already know
Seriously.
who you are. I already know what you're going to say. I already know
Put
how
me
you're
in
going to
these
say.
boxes, man, and I I can't fucking take it anymore.
But I think that is why we've gone along for as long as we have, is because of those differences.
Because Ben tells us what we are.
Yeah, exactly. Because having been to define my personality has kept me around.
Let me tell you, if you're lost in the world, just get yourself a hostile coach in the form of Ben Roy, who just tells you what you are every morning.
Yeah,
Really.
I can't
life
help it.
coaching.
Okay, you're
Ben
a
has a
lollygagger,
real,
Adam, and Andrew's a ne'er-do-well.
Okay.
Ben Roy, the John Gruden of life coaching.
That's not fair. You both are. Here's the thing. I think that there's an assumption that I'm the aggressive one in this group. That's not.
That's only based on all the evidence, and that's not fair.
We only have 16 years.
That's only
of
based
evidence.
on everything that you've done, and that's not fair.
We need more data. We need, let's talk in 10 years.
What was funny is while we were filming the show, there were moments during the first episode we filmed. Andrew and I just got into it right on set.
Because Ben couldn't pull any of his stunts.
It was
And so,
literally
yeah, I was
just-
like, hey, why don't you pull your fucking stunt, dude? And quit. I'm going to have black bruises all over my body. And yeah, we got into this match, and it was like everyone
I
on
was
set
like,
was kind of like,
it
oh,
turned
no,
into my,
oh, no.
My New England accent came out, and I was like, why don't you just chill the fuck out?
Yeah.
I didn't fucking mean to hit you that fucking hard. And then it spills out into the hallway, us barking at each other. And people were like, but we always,
That was the
That
worst
ha-
it ever got.
yeah, I think that was on. It was only day one, so that's not really that big of a deal. But no, I mean, there were
Meanwhile, I'm in the background. being
Set the tone
professional.
early. Set the
Yeah.
tone. Adam
My-
was great at pulling his stunts. It's a
I just
delicate art.
because I'm not trying to hurt you, Andrew.
listen. I was
That's the secret.
I was not trying to hurt Andrew. I was trying to toughen him up. I was trying to make him leather. I'm trying to make him. I'm trying to make him more. You know what I mean? Something. I don't know.
Ben, can I tell you what you were doing?
No.
You were being a hot dog.
I didn't own a hot dog a little on set, but anyway.
But hey, the
So-
results speak for themselves. Some of the best scenes in the show. So
People say that EpiPen scene looks
Yeah.
so real.
they're like, I thought you really injected him with something because you rammed it an inch and a half into his thigh.
Now, who's the makeup artist that did the bruise work on Andrew's thighs? Because it's very
The
realistic.
first time I hit him, his reaction, it just. I think part of it too is there's a sadistic side to me that loves hearing Andrew's angry voice because he gets really, it's really mad. Yeah, that's it. You son of a bitch! It's always through clenched teeth. But no, it was a total.
The point is, it's not always a love fest and palsing around talking about hot teenage boys. Sometimes we get mad at each other for real, like any group of friends that's known each other for a long time would. And so I think what we kind of hit upon for this episode is that it might behoove us to learn each other's personality
you're an
types a little bit better. I'm sorry that I translate your fucking jibber jabberish into an NPR language so we can swing up a little bit for listeners. You know, we can't just scrounge around the jujitsu and tattoo studios for podcast listeners. We have to swing the fuck up towards Mike Birbiglia land, and I do that with words like behoove. And if you have a problem with
It
that,
wasn't that you said behooved. It was that you went behoove us.
okay, all right,
You really
all right.
dipped into it because you're an elitist prick. But
At
anyway,
Ira
Wow,
Glass,
this episode could
at
not have
Ira
come
Glass.
at a more perfect time. Wow.
But see, this bickering might just be a trait of our personalities.
There,
Like Ben is an
So-
asshole, and it exhibits itself in the way he talks.
oh, and Andrew plays the role of aggressive meerkat, where he comes out of his hole and he creates an argument, and then he ducks down and he's like, "I didn't do that. Stop." So anyway, here's.
Aggressive meerkat. Is that one of the types on this test that we're going to be taking? Is it an animal-based test? I hope so.
God, I hope so.
I'll take
No.
meerkat. They're cool.
That's a great animal if you got to choose one.
Yeah.
Meerkat.
Okay, so here's what we decided to do. We decided in an effort to be better at communication, to improve our ability to relate to one another, why don't we take personality tests? I mean,
Child
something that's-
psychologist Ron Doyle presented us with a test, and
So what we've done is we've decided we should take these.
And that means, hold on, that means he doesn't give children, he doesn't help them be a shrink. He's actually a child, like Doogie Howser.
Wonderkind
so he's
child psychologist. Adults
he's
come
like
to him for advice.
100%. Sorry, just
That'd
wanted
be
to clarify
amazing if Doogie Howser had been a psychologist, but he's
Holy
like
shit!
14
There's our new
years-
show. There's our new show. It's a 12-year-old shrink. We got to write this.
They're like, do you even understand what it means to be in a relationship? Because you're 14.
Doogie Howser, LCT, licensed clinical therapist.
Dude, reboot.
It's just a trucker in the seat. I was just really putting a lot of speed into the vein in my cock, and I realized I couldn't be doing this anymore. Just this acne-covered kid across. Anyway, I could go on.
Puts
and
his
on about
Nintendo Switch down to answer.
Oh, Ben, truckers don't go to therapy.
yeah. The show is already so insane.
But no, so he but
But
PhD
child
Ron
psychologist
Doyle.
Ron presented that we should do Myers-Briggs personalities test. So he
Which
sent
is
us this-
expensive and time consuming. So instead, we did another personality test.
the free internet lesser version, which is six. I don't know if it's lesser. It was worked out fine for us. It's 16personalities.com. 16personalities.com. So we took our own Myers-Briggs personalities test at this website, and we suggest that you, the listener, do the same. Because in the back half of this episode, we're going to talk about the results we got and learn why Ben's such a dick, and learn why Andrew lobs these bombs, and learn why Adam just cleans up the messes professionally. And we're going to figure it all out using 16personalities.com.
So what we want people who are listening to do is, if you're listening to this, you can go to 16personalities.
It's free. We're not
Totally.
sponsored by them. We're just
Literally just
we're
what I
only
just said, Ben.
we're only plugging
Literally
it because
what I
it's
just
free.
said.
God, I wish we were sponsored by big Myers-Briggs.
Ben,
Frankly,
what
I'm
didn't-
surprised there's that many personalities in the world. I guess I'm kind of cynical. I would have thought, 6personalities.com. But
Well, Ben sang for 16 personalities.
yeah, back
throughout
then,
New England.
back in that neo grunge phase.
Yeah, dude, I like 16 personalities.
16 personalities. Our song, the Explorer, was one of the hits of that generation. Oh, come on, you're an explorer.
I also love Coming Out of My Shell by 16
Yeah,
personalities.
I'm coming out of my shell. Uh-oh, I smell a recording challenge.
The worst songs ever.
I'm coming out of this shell. I'm no longer silence. All right. Okay.
All right, so we're going to go take this personality
God.
test. We're going to come back and have our
Right.
results, and we're going to get into it, and we'll be better friends in the
and
process.
those of you that are listening right now, feel free go to 16personalities.com.
Oh my God, it's the third fucking time we've told them that, Ben.
Take the test with us and see if you match up
I
to
think
one of our personalities.
One of Ben's results is going to be a brain tumor the size of a tangerine. Jesus Christ.
And before we come back, why don't you all go ahead and go to 16personalities.com.
Oh my God. All right. Let's break. Let's fucking break. We're going to listen to some comedy and we're going to come back after Ben's been medicated. This is our friend Phoebe Bottoms at our Grolix live show, and she killed it. So enjoy.
You guys know how to figure out what your gladiator name is? It's the street you grew up on and the first pet you killed in combat. It's fun. So I have no choice to do anything other than this. I have no practical skills. My parents were mimes. They sent me, I know, it sucks. But I'm so bad at math that it hurts people's feelings. I know. And I know that because in high school I had a teacher named Mr. Hodge. He was a kind, soft-featured, watery-eyed gentleman with a generic lilting accent, and I loved him. And he took pity on me as the dumbest runt in the litter of my class and was like, hey, Phoebe, we're going to figure out how to get you to pass this class. And I'm going to stay after school with you every day, and we're going to get through it. And I was like, whatever you say, Mr. Hodge, I'll help you get a Hallmark movie made after you. I like looking at your weird caricature face. It's great. So we worked together all year, and then finally the day came to take the final exam. I was very nervous and very excited. And I took it, and I got the test back. And in the upper right-hand corner, instead of a grade, I got a sad face. I'm exactly sad, good at math. Now the thing about this face, it wasn't just like an emoticon, like boop, boop, it had a head on it. So I think what happened is he gave me a 0 and was like, I don't think she understands numbers well enough to get this, and just filled in the rest. Thanks, guys, you've been great. Thank you.
Get out of the trenches of tedious tasks like managing order fulfillment and start growing your business with ShipStation. They'll help increase profitability by automating your workflow with their simple, easy-to-use dashboard. With it, you can pretty much do everything you need to quickly and easily. Update order information, print labels, compare rates, optimize shipments, and even set up automatic delivery notifications. And it doesn't matter where you sell. Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, ShipStation can integrate pretty much anywhere online. Another great thing about ShipStation? They can help reduce costs with industry-leading discounted rates from some of the biggest mail carriers. You might even be able to get up to 89% off USPS and UPS rates. So, make this year your most profitable one yet. Sign up for your free 30-day trial at ShipStation.com and use the code Spotify. That's ShipStation.com with the code Spotify.
And we're back from the break.
And just a quick reminder to you all, if you go to 16personalities.com.
No, Ben,
Oh my
stop
God,
it.
Ben. What sort of
How do you, these people don't know what we're
They
doing.
what
know.
sort of Christopher Nolan movie are we living in? Leave us alone,
They
Ben.
get it. They get it.
Anyway, we are back, as Andrew said. And,
from the break.
and through the magic of podcasting, I love that tone. We're back. We took our tests. I think we all did.
So let's see how well we know each other before we get the test results. Let's guess as to the test results of the other people.
That's a good
Okay,
idea.
so let me
yeah.
break it down for people who have not gone to Ben. What website is that?
It is 16 personalities.
For those that have not gone to that, 16 personalities breaks it down into
16.
several different categories. The 4 that they break it down into are analyst, diplomat, sentinel, and explorer. And there's
And
categories.
by the way,
within
these
there.
sound like D&D classes, so
They
you know
really
I'm on
do.
board. So there's four main types on the test that we took. The first is analysts. They're intuitive and thinking personality types known for their rationality, impartiality, and intellectual excellence. The next one is diplomats. They're intuitive and feeling personality types known for their empathy, diplomatic skills, and passionate idealism. The next one is sentinels. They're known for killing X-Men. Just a cool comic book joke. You guys are welcome. They're observant and judging personality types,
Fucking
known for
dork.
their practicality and focus on order, security, and stability. And the last one is explorers, who are known for observant and prospecting personality types, known for their spontaneity, ingenuity, and flexibility. So
ninjas. And for everybody to know, within each of those types, those 4, there's 4 subcategories within that a personality. So there's 16 total.
And
So
these
let's-
subcategories are, I think, are what most people associate with Myers-Briggs. Are these
Right.
ones we're about to get into right now? So
Cool.
yeah, let's get into them and kind of guess for each other first and foremost.
before we guess Ben's, let's just go through the core personality things. For example, right up front, extroverted or introverted? Do we think Ben is extroverted or introverted?
Fucking Doy Hickey, he's extroverted.
But it could be masking his introversion. I don't know.
I'm
don't
going
know.
big fat E for old Benny Waugh.
So do you think
Because Ben loves spending time at home.
but wait. So do you think extroverted all the way extroverted for me, or
No, that's what I'm saying. If you were to ask me in any random moment, what do you think Ben is doing right now? I would say he's at jujitsu. But if you were like, okay, well, he's not at jujitsu, I'd be like, he's at home. He's at home reading. So I think he's not as extroverted as he seems, and I think he's more kind of in the middle there.
I'm going to go with Ben at like 75% extroverted.
okay?
I'm
What's
going.
next?
I'm going close to 50-50. So for Ben, observant or intuitive?
He is.
Go
I'm
easy
going
on me.
Intuitive. I'm going intuitive.
Yeah, me too. Intuitive. Okay.
Okay.
This one, easy one. Feeling or thinking?
What does that mean?
I mean, these are coming off as like as negative, but they're not.
No, there's
Because
no
I think-
negatives.
I think Ben is a deep thinker, but I think he feels very.
He's clearly,
more
he clearly
deeply.
has a great connection
He's empathetic.
with emotions and his
he-
feelings. Yeah,
totally.
that is a good quality. That is
I agree.
undeniably.
I agree.
Okay.
As
I'm going
someone
with Ben.
who's on the opposite side of that, who has a very choked off emotional throughput, it's a good quality.
What is feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And lastly, judging or perceiving.
He
And this one's tricky because at face value, Ben seems very judging because he has strong opinions, but he's also very like open to new information, and his judgments aren't like concrete. Like some people's personalities are like, "This is what I fucking think, and nothing in the whole world is ever going to change me."
Yeah, no,
Which
I
is a
think Ben-
Pantera lyric, as we all know. But
That was on Cowboys from Hell, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so. Yeah.
it's called "I'm Not Going to Wear a Mask." It's on Cowboys. So that one's tricky. I would put him again more in the middle of that. I don't think
Okay.
he's as judging as it might seem.
I'm
Okay.
going to put Ben as a deep perceiver, like almost all the way perceiving.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so we've got those, and now let's choose what we think. Which of the 4 overall types?
Right. I'm
I'll go
trying to get
first. I think
those
he's
types up.
A diplomat. And again, I'll just remind everyone, diplomats are intuitive and feeling personality types known for their empathy, diplomatic skills, and passionate idealism. Let me repeat that last part. Passionate idealism.
Very, very good guess. And I could see why you would say that. I am going to say that Ben is an explorer. He's an observant and prospecting personality type known for their spontaneity, ingenuity, and flexibility, which if you've seen Ben in the jiu-jitsu studio,
Oh, yeah. That guy,
very, very flexible. But I mean,
he's like a regular Stretch
This
Armstrong.
is
But
so fucking awkward.
And-
it's as if I'm not
and
here.
It lets you pick subcategories of explorer. So there's virtuoso, adventurer, entrepreneur, and entertainer. And I'm going to go Ben is a fucking virtuoso, bud.
Ooh. Okay, so the 4 subtypes of diplomats, and again, without getting too into them, there's advocate, mediator, protagonist, or campaigner. And I haven't read through those, so I'm just going to guess just off the top of my head, protagonist.
Okay.
Okay. So, Ben, we've made our guesses for you, and that we'll go back and do Andrew.
Drum
and me
roll,
afterwards.
please.
But give us your results, Joseph.
Well, a little backstory. I would say that out of the 3 of us, Adam, you and I hang out the most. I mean, I hang out with Andrew pretty regularly, but you and I go on walks and like we keep in touch a lot more regularly than Andrew and I do. We, just throughout time, that's just
Yeah,
kind of
you
how
got to
it's been.
pry Andrew out of the fucking fantasy.
Ben and I
world
have
to
hung
talk
out
to him.
recreationally 3 times in 17 years.
No. We hang out, but I do think Adam and I we've hung out more. I will say Andrew knows me far better than you do.
Oh, really?
I'm
when we're hanging out, I'm just talking. I'm not listening.
Okay, so
That makes sense.
I am a diplomat. I am according to this list, I am of the type that is a turbulent campaigner.
Campaigner was my other guess. I was like, I don't know.
He's always kissing them babies, shaking them hands.
As far as guessing whether or not I was extroverted or introverted, Andrew said that I was somewhere in the middle between that, and he was correct. I got 55 and 45. So 55 extroverted, 45 introverted. And then I got energy, I got 62% intuitive, 38% observant, Nature.
Okay, so you're right on that.
You were both correct with my slide bar being all the way over on feeling instead of thinking. So I do let my
How
85% feeling.
85% feeling.
Wow.
Which means
I don't
this
I don't think I have an 85% on anything.
It says
Now didn't 16 personalities sing 85% feeling?
I've got yeah, that's one of the hits.
15% touchdown. Yeah. So
right.
tactics, I was about half and half prospecting and judging. And then identity, it listed me as turbulent. I am
Which
a
is pretty apt.
turbulent campaigner basically says that it doesn't
What's up,
interest-
turbulent campaigner, dude?
It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing, it doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to follow you if you will risk looking like a fool for your dreams, for the adventure of being
Oh, this
alive.
is your Bumble profile, Ben. Go back to 16 personalities.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I had that open. I'm trying to cheat on my wife here. No, it just says
So what does assertive versus turbulent mean? Let's look back into what it looks like.
turbulent individuals are extremely self-conscious and sensitive to stress. They are likely to experience a wide range of emotions and to be success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve.
I mean, that describes you very well. You're definitely self-conscious.
I am definitely very self-conscious. And like you've seen, Adam's been making fun of my reading challenge for myself. I will just overemphasize it to be like, see, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm so
To
self-conscious.
be fair, I
about
love
that.
your reading challenge. I think it's good you're doing it. I'm just
No,
it's
but
an
I'm just
easy
saying,
target to
like,
give you shit.
I when I do things, I throw myself so headfirst into it because I don't want to be bad at it, and because I'm afraid I look like an idiot. Like I'm very self-conscious.
And you and I have an education gap, so there's like a socialized need to be like, hey, I'm also smart. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean I'm not smart. Yeah,
Right.
I don't have any earning power or career to fall back on, but I'm not dumb.
But I'm impressed by how close Andrew was, almost spot on in what he thought. And Adam, I'm flattered by what you said you thought of me. But when I read this, I read it beside my wife, Crystal, and she was like, ooh, that's... Yeah, that's
I was
you.
surprised by how accurate mine was. When I was answering the questions, I was like, this is such bullshit. And then I read the thing and I was
Okay.
like, oh.
Let's do Andrew. All right, Adam.
Okay, let's do it. So let's look at those categories again. So is Andrew extroverted or introverted? I think Andrew is extremely introverted.
I would say he's introverted. I would say 75-25. Because Andrew,
Yeah, I agree with that.
when he, in fact, side story, when he came to Maine to do that show in Waterville at that theater, he stayed with my family. And I told them at the beginning, they were like, what is Andrew like? What's he want to do? I was like, just have a room for him that he can retreat to. And they were like, he's not going to hang out. And I'm like, he'll hang out-ish. And then you said hi, and you immediately went up to the room and read or just hung out by yourself. Because I
Masturbated, definitely. At your mom's house? Why would I pass up that opportunity?
Especially with the photo of the wolf behind the bald eagle. I know that gets you that gets you full bad. So I would say
I'm just
you're
kidding. If
definitely
Ben's parents
introverted.
are listening to this, no, I'm sure I was reading.
Observant or intuitive? I would say he is more observant than intuitive. Even his comedy to me is very observant. He tends to be very observant on patterns and things like that. But that's just me.
No, you're intuitive with that guess because I also think he's observant. See what I did there? I think Andrew's very observant. So I'm going to 75% observant, 80% observant.
Feeling or thinking? I would say more thinking on this, but definitely a lot of feeling. Andrew is an anxious person, and he is very, very empathetic and sympathetic to other people's struggles and the plight of other people. So I would say my guess would be he'd somewhere in the middle on this, but that's me.
I could see where you're going for that, but I'm still not convinced Andrew's not an android. So I'm going with thinking. Pretty high on the thinking and not that high on the feeling. That's just
Okay.
I guess.
I
but
did, man. Taking this test, I felt like I was taking the Voight-Kampff and Blade Runner, where I was like, Jesus Christ, like I don't know the answer to some of these.
And that comment lets you know that his dork meter is all the way over.
Do you see what I'm talking about, android? Like I don't even understand the words that robot
Oh, sorry,
just
you
said
didn't
to
see
us.
the classic science fiction movie Blade Runner. What an obscure reference I'm making.
No, I did. I just don't have total fucking instantaneous recall of dialogue to a frighteningly specific degree.
Okay, judging or perceiving. This is a tough one because I feel like judging or prospecting, as well as they refer to it as
You know I love
prospecting.
gold.
Um,
And I have that big floppy hat that I wear. So
One of the things that it says judges do is like to make and stick to plans. So I'm tossing that out the fucking window.
yeah,
and saying he's a
I think
perceiver.
Andrew is very. I'm gonna go the same. I'm gonna go prospecting or perceiving. I think he is basically how he's feeling or what he's observing in that moment guides what he does at that moment. I don't know that there's a ton of overwhelming planning in advance.
Okay, so
that's
that
my type, baby.
yeah, for me, I'm looking at these personality types, and I think Andrew is also an explorer, which is what I guessed for Ben incorrectly. But I'm going to go that Andrew is an adventurer explorer because the spontaneity is, I feel like, a way that he's lived his life. Like he's had so many interesting jobs and he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to New York to live. And like, I just feel like he's an adventurer.
I'm going to say he's also a diplomat, but in a different way. I would say he's a diplomat, and I'm going to say advocate underneath it. But that's my
Okay.
guess, and I could be way
All
off.
right.
Andrew,
Here's
hit
the
us with it, bud.
response. Y'all are both wrong, and I was surprised too if I was to guess before I did this test. But again, I don't even know what half of these fucking things are. So, no, I'm an analyst and a logician analyst at that. I'm a
Okay.
turbulent logician. They're people who have like ideas all the time, new ideas all the time.
That's for sure.
ideas,
That's for
ideas,
sure.
ideas, and
He's an idea man.
a lot. Yeah, and,
There could not. I mean,
fairly-
honestly, if your description stopped there, it's 100%.
Yeah.
That's the. I mean, literally ideas constantly.
and like again fairly introverted, except if I meet people with like interests, then I get like extremely extroverted with those people, which I
Holy
definitely
shit.
see in my life where it's like, oh, you like talking about baseball? Well, let's talk about baseball for the next 5 hours, kind of a
Well, in your
thing.
D&D, I mean, you spend more time playing and communicating with other people through that than I see other people on a weekly
yeah,
basis.
totally, definitely.
Yeah.
So I thought it was actually super accurate. Like when I was taking it, I felt it was kind of flawed. Like a lot of the questions would be like, I love going to parties and being in the middle of the action. I was like, I like hanging out with my friends, but I hate parties. So I felt like it was kind of skewed in that way. Like I love going to parties and having someone play the acoustic guitar next to my face. Like I like the examples
Andrew
felt
texted us. He's like, I don't hate parties. He's asking about parties. And child psychologist Ron just texted back, take the test.
But yeah, then the results, I was like, wow, this is actually very interesting. So introverted versus extroverted, 67% introverted. Intuitive versus observant, 59% intuitive instead of observant. Feeling and thinking almost 50-50. 51% thinking,
I was right on
49%
that.
feeling. So
Okay.
Ben nailed that one. And then judging versus prospecting, like you all said, 60% prospecting, definitely more prospecting. And
Wow.
then 56% turbulent as opposed to 44%.
I could see you being in the
Assertive.
middle on the turbulent part of it. You also are, for the most part, measured with your emotions. I mean, at least what you outwardly show. I don't, I mean, it's tough to read you a lot of the time. You're very controlled in a lot of ways.
I'm a burned book. But like one of the things that also said, like, if I have a project that I like, I do like a shit ton of work on it, and I'll like leave everything else by the wayside. If you could see my bedroom right now, you'd understand. My bedroom looks like someone died in that room 14 years ago and no one has lived in there since. It's
Just dozens of half-filled condoms.
Gross. Yeah, that's what's going on. No, but it's just like storage boxes and dirt and dust.
Honestly, what you read of the description of yourself, if people are listening, that is you to a T. Like we talked about it before. Throughout the filming of the show, ideas, all times of night. Like you just get a text and be like, Andrew texted me at 3:30 saying we should do an episode on this. And that was always your strength. You're just always able to come up with a new angle, a new idea. And you are, I think it's spot on that you're extremely passionate about things. I think that because you're quiet, it doesn't come across to people. But I would say of the three of us, when you latch onto something that you're very passionate about, you blow all of us away. Adam and I were baseball fans, just as an example. And then Andrew knows every stat, every player, once you got into it, it was like,
for sure. He came to base after us and then lapped us in terms of like, certainly in terms of current baseball knowledge. I would,
you
definitely.
You're just your passions, I think, drive that. So super interesting. Let's move on to ass face.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, fucking A.
Oh, that's what he got, ass face.
I got an ass face.
There was a new type that popped up called ass face.
Where ego, I go. Okay, so what are we doing here? Let's
All right, so extroverted or introverted for Adam. This again, it's
That's a tough
tough
one.
because Adam, a social guy, he likes going out to bars. He likes being with his groups of friends.
Alcoholic.
Yeah, Andrew, he's an addict. No,
I got addict. Yeah.
But I don't know. Adam will pop into a party, but he never like overstays. He'll make an appearance.
He's
at a
also
party
the king of disappearing without
Yeah.
telling anybody.
Yeah.
And you'll just be like,
which I
Adam,
envy. It's such a nice way to leave a party.
Mid conversation, you'll be like, yeah, I hear. Oh, there goes Adam. He's not here anymore.
He's just not here anymore.
I'm gonna say
so I'd go a little more extroverted, but not by much.
I'm going to say like 60-40, more introverted than extroverted.
Okay,
He's
so I'm going more extroverted than introverted, but not by
Okay.
much. I'm talking like 55% extroverted.
smidges. Okay.
right.
Observant or
Or
intuitive? I'm going to go observant.
I'm going observant, yeah. Definitely.
But not by much, because one thing I've learned about Adam is that part of this facade that he is a very sensitive person. And I've learned that about him throughout this time, that he is very good at controlling what he puts out there. But I think that is because deep down, he's a very sensitive, very, very soft-hearted person. So I would say he is about half and half on observant and intuitive.
yeah.
I don't know.
So feeling or thinking, again, I'd kind of put that maybe 50-50.
I'd
more
go
thinking.
more on the thinking than feeling, but not by much.
Yeah.
Maybe 60-40 as well, just over that line. Judging or perceiving,
Or
I'm going to go
prospecting.
judging. I think not he definitely is a judgmental prick. But no. I'm going to say that
Judgmental alcoholic. Got it.
he tends to snippy addict.
Snaddict.
He tends to be more planned, more meticulous. I'm going to say that's probably judging is like 70-30 judging is my guess.
Yeah, I think that I would probably say something similar to that. Okay, so let's pick his
all right.
type. I'm guessing he's a sentinel, and he is a. I don't know these subtypes because I didn't read them. I would say logistician or defender. I guess I have to pick one, so I'm gonna go defender. I don't even really know the description, but Adam will definitely
That is
defend.
so D&D sounding. A
things.
defender sentinel.
Totally.
I'm going to go that he is also a sentinel, but I'm going to go executive sentinel, which just basically means that he likes order. He believes that things being in order and having a place and whatnot is good. That's a valuable thing.
Oh, yeah.
I actually, on Southwest, I have reached executive sentinel status.
Nice.
I have enough miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did that
Wow.
take though? I mean, you're not
It's 100.
flying
It's
now.
150,000 flights.
Wow. But
Yeah,
you're not
and-
flying. You can't go anywhere right
They
now.
sent a messenger to deliver the news.
All right. So
Okay.
drum roll.
All right, you guys were way off about lobster.
Oh, dude.
You don't know
Well,
me
maybe
at
you
all,
should be
and
more
this-
open with us. Maybe it's your fault.
It's
Maybe-
nice to have a podcast confirm what terrible friends you are to me. No, you guys are wrong about a lot of stuff. My type is assertive advocate. It's a diplomat.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm an
Interesting.
assertive advocate, and not to be fancy, but it says their advocate personality type is very rare, making up less than 1% of
Whoa.
the population.
Yeah, mine
Okay.
was 3%, but
So it's pretty
1%'s
weird. I'm a
whoa.
diplomat. Yeah. So I guess let's see. So the first trait is like introverted or extroverted. It says I'm 63% introverted.
I was right.
similar to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is no surprise to me because I think like I definitely always want to be at home. Parties make me nervous. Like you were saying, I make an appearance, Andrew, and that's like, yeah, I'll be there out of some weird sense of duty, and then I'm gone. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to leave. So intuitive versus observant. I'm 53% intuitive according to this.
I was right.
Test.
I think we said right
I
about
had
half and half.
59.
Okay.
Cool.
And this one is, I think you guys were off on. It says, what is it, thinking versus feeling, or is
Yeah.
it?
I had you more thinking, but not by much, I think. I don't remember. I forgot.
It's
Yeah.
got me 65% feeling.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
that's
And I
almost
was-
up to Ben's level of feeling.
Well, and I do think like I don't know.
85% is a little.
Oh, don't worry, I'll match those numbers on judgment.
What did you get on judging or perceiving?
Wait, I do want
No,
to say
no,
that
let him
Ben-
talk about his feelings. Let him
Ben's-
talk about his feelings for once.
I don't give a shit about
Ben's
that.
comment about me being more emotional than most people know is 100% on. And so I think I've put out a tough facade. I don't know what part of my personality that is, but I'm definitely a big bag of emotions. With judging.
That's another
versus-
16
oh,
personality
right.
songs. Big bag of emotions.
Throw it over my shoulder. I got that big bag of emotions.
Well, a lot of people thought that the shell that the character was coming out of
Yeah.
was actually the big bag of emotions. But that's for VH1
So the shell
behind
was
the music.
in the bag. So when he
Right.
comes out of the shell, he just finds himself in a big bag of emotions.
I mean, that's some fan theories out
So
there.
cool.
About that.
All right, and then judging or perceiving.
Boom, 83% judgmental asshole.
Damn.
17%
I knew that one would-
perceiving.
That one would be hard just because I don't think it means necessarily judgment though in that
No, I'll read what it says because in defense of myself. Judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. And I'm definitely neurotically organized.
Yes.
They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity.
a close
Totally.
second when on set to striking Andrew too hard during a stunt would be in the writer's room when you would leave the room, Adam, messing up the order of your keys and your wallet and all of your items that have been sitting in front of you that you arranged in order. Because you would do that every time. You always had them set up and I'm like laying on the floor and
Shoes off.
Yeah, curled
Andrew
up like
didn't-
somebody who slept in there overnight.
and then Andrew didn't bring a thing with him.
except a basket of snacks so high you can't even see him
That's
behind
true.
the snacks.
What is that? That's like a is that a crate of cheddar Cheez-Its? And he's like, "Oh, I thought people would want some. But
Oh, is that my voice?
yes, that's how you talked in the writer's room.
Yeah, it's-
But anyway, that describes you alone.
Yeah.
The judging style of like being ordered, being thorough, even with
And
the
even
show,
in the live show, the Grawlix, like we didn't even like designate like, oh, you were in charge of this. Adam just like self-designated like I'm handling this, and this, and it just keeps the show in this like orderly route. It's not
Yeah,
like
this one does feel applicable too, and I wish it wasn't this way. But like preferring structure and planning to spontaneity, I'm so that way. Like I wish I was like, fuck yeah, let's just run off and do the thing. But if someone's like, dude, we're going to the mountains right now, I'd be like,
that's the
can
only
we go tomorrow?
Way, that's
like
the
I need
only
to.
way I make plans. And every time I've ever hit Adam up to hang out, I'm like, hey, dude, today dog park, and he's like, no, I have my whole day planned. Like it never works. It never works out.
I know when we tape things or we do things, like it's like, no, Adam goes to the gym during that time. That's when Adam's walking the dog. I just know that that's how you operate, which is so different than Andrew and I, because I think we tend to be more alike on the spontaneity side, that our days change. Or I mean,
It's a weird one. I'm not proud of that trait. I mean, but it is. I think it has to do with neurotic and having. I just like things organized. I like it. I like to have the plan, and when I get away from that plan, it definitely makes me feel agitated.
when snippy addicts find things they're not ready for, like something gets thrown at them, you know, they're immediately like, how am I going to get my drugs? You know what I mean?
Can you do my snippy addict voice similar to Andrew's Cheez-It voice?
be here.
Yeah, that feels familiar.
I think there's too many variables.
So are you
wait,
more
there's-
assertive or turbulent? I'm guessing
Yeah.
assertive for sure.
Yes, assertive.
I'm 57% assertive. That's what I
Yes.
tell the military every day when they come recruiting me.
And they're like,
Well,
look, you're way too old. We're not.
Well, every morning when you go to Adam's house, you see him out there raising that Old Glory up on the flagpole, and he
He turned his own backyard into a boot camp, and Katie comes out and yells at him like a
Yeah, part of my carefully organized routine
DI?
is taps for the neighborhood. I play taps for the neighborhood. Everyone knows
is.
it's time to get up, and then we see you in the mess tent.
Nice.
No, I mean,
No, I
yours-
remember when I was a kid, this is like overshare, but I had a soccer team and we were very good. It was like a competitive soccer team. And I remember telling my mom that I like wish that we all were like more the same. Like I wish we had all had like the same haircut and the same shoes and the same like, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like the worst thing
My
ever.
terrifying son.
Yeah, but I was like, no, we need to be like a unit. No, and she's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And that was the last time we spoke.
Well, I mean, truthfully, that's impressive how close yours was to you. What I'm impressed by is that we were fairly close on knowing each other on those four: the extroverted, introverted, observant.
Right, those
feeling.
categories, I think we have a good sense of one
Overall,
another.
yeah. We had a general idea.
So
for
why
sure.
we always fighting, girls?
Because I don't like you.
Oh,
Yeah, for real. I find your comedy to be arrogant. and
Because
it
you're
talks over
83% judgy.
Yeah, I get it.
That's so funny that they call it judging when it's really not about that.
It's
but,
not. It's about
No
like,
one likes to
order
be
and
told that
structure
they're
and shit.
judgy.
Yeah,
I know. Well,
but
I'm
you
glad
are
that
judging.
you guys. I'm glad you guys have this fuel to throw at me for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
What a fun challenge!
Andrew and I show up with 17%er patches on.
Totally.
Like that's
I feel like it's a very weird time to wear a patch that says 17%.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's
I don't think I'm
going to
wear any
well.
percentile patches at
Yeah,
all.
I think that's a rough one.
so overall. Do you think that this is beneficial? I mean, do you think that knowing this information is something that we can use going forward when communicating?
I think so. But I think in a weird way, we did know this stuff about ourselves. Like we did know that Andrew's going to go passionately into this project and maybe not respond to a text because he's working on that project. So, you know what I mean? Like we kind of have learned intuitively how the other operates. And you guys know, like, okay, Adam's going to need a little bit of structure or he's going to be off his game. So let's get to the Grolix a half hour early and rehearse and shit. You know, it's like that type of stuff.
Yeah, like I think we already had the interpersonal stuff, but it is nice to like, I guess it'd be like validating to be like, oh yeah, this is like an actual personality type. It's not just chaos. Like when I was filling out the test results, I felt very like critical of myself and I was getting like kind of upset about some of the answers because I didn't like I was like, this is the honest answer, but I wish it wasn't this. I wish it was like this. But I answered, honestly and took the test. But
Right,
then when
wish
I
was more spontaneous for sure.
yeah, like there's just things that when you're like, I wish I was this kind of person, but I should answer this more accurately. But then when I read the description, it felt great to be like, oh, this is like a personality type. And the things that kind of drive me crazy about myself, like having 65 half-finished projects in a sink full of dirty dishes is actually like a trait of an actual personality type.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like we all know Ben is an emotional guy and feels things very deeply. We know that, and so, but now it's kind of like, oh, that is just his personality type. Like I remember in set, it seems we keep going back to set because that's where it was the Grolix under a microscope.
Yeah, and it was
like
a pressure cooker, so
the
it,
tensest it's ever been.
all those
So
traits get it magnified. Yeah.
right, and sometimes Ben would get upset and like blow up or something, and I'd be like, "What the fuck, Ben?" And then we'd go like talk to him. But it's like, oh, this is a type that Ben feels emotional about this, whereas Andrew and I might feel it more just like this is just a decision that we don't feel as emotionally. But then I learned over the course of shooting that Ben feels this shit deeper than
I
feel
was
this shit.
also kind of mentally ill during that time. So I think that should be pointed out as well. But no, I totally agree. I think these tests are designed to give some sort of compass on a person you don't know. I think there's still no better way to completely understand the nuances and all the complexities of somebody's personality than spending a lot of time with them, which
Yeah.
we did. And so,
Right.
like I said, I mean, we were all common traded on being intuitive. That could be something that bonds us together. You know, part of the reason
Well,
why we
and I think-
get along.
Yeah, but I think it's also that we're like almost half and half. Like we're kind of just a little bit more intuitive than we are observant.
Yeah.
Which is like
But
a
it also
weird-
helps to have that diversity in personality types where Adam's desire for structure gives us the underpinnings for the crazier elements. If all three
Yeah.
of us were like spontaneous, like, woohoo, I just jumped from fancy to fancy. Wait, it would just be a fucking chaotic meltdown. So you have to have those
Jumping from fancy to fancy was the title track on
16 personalities third album.
16 personalities.
And see, I want Andrew to be able to jump from fancy to fancy, but I want to make sure that the fancy train shows up on time for Andrew to get on board. For Andrew to get on board
I
that
just
fancy
want to
train.
make sure that the fancy train cares about the people on board.
And that's
Do you
why it's
care
such a
about
great
them?
train to ride.
It is.
Andrew makes it fanciful.
I wanna
Ben
leave. I
cares
wanna
how
leave
you
this
feel. And Adam says it'll be there at 10 and you can take that to the bank.
And I think the thing that I think is important about this and helps to make us better is I like the parts we were closer on. Like I like knowing where we kind of overlapped. That we're all kind of intuitive. Like we tend to try to listen to our intuition on things. And that there could be to me more with this test, knowing why we tend to work well together is in the parts where we overlapped. That in those small sections is why we are able to do this and have for so long.
Well, can I say this? Knowing all this that I know about you guys now, I'd still choose to marry both of you all over again.
Wow. That is so sweet and still illegal. Don't say it on the podcast.
I'll go to Utah for you dudes.
Coming out on my shell.
New
Coming
progressive
out of
yet
this
regressive
shell.
Utah.
Throw the bag of emotions over my shoulder.
Yeah, I think the only way to close this out is
It's with a
you know,
fully
the lead
improvised
singer-
song by Ben Roy.
the lead singer
Throw
of
the
16
bag over my
personalities.
shoulder. I got it full of emotions, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, well, anyway, this was fun, and for those of you that are listening, make sure to go out to 16 personalities.
Oh my God.
Ben, we're
Take
not
the test
sponsored by
yourself.
that.
Or any Myers-Briggs test. It can be anywhere.
But if you did take it and you did listen to what we said, tell us what you got. Follow us on Twitter and tweet at us.
There are no like bad answers when you read through the types. It's not like, oh, I'm a piece of shit or I'm a sloppy mess. Like it's nice to know that like the things that you might be very critical about yourself are like actual personality traits. And so I think knowing
unless you
yourself
get
is better.
83% judgy.
Yeah,
And then
in which case, I mean,
It
that's
just like puts up. It just puts us an app that's a mirror. It's like look at yourself.
Here you go, you pig.
Anyway,
Snippy alcoholic.
all right, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break, listen to some live comedy, and boy, am I excited about this one. This little lovable scamp, best hair in comedy. This is Chris Charpentier.
Oh, Sharpie. Fun fact about Sharpie. actually my biological son.
That is
Oh.
not. Stop it! Wow.
I love my boy. I love my boy.
and it
We're
shows
just
because
finding out.
yeah,
Yep.
this is
Surprise,
real-
Sharpie, you're my son.
That's fun. That is fun. So all of you enjoy this, and then we'll be back after the break with our next challenge.
The last time I was home, I went to dinner with my mom. It was real fun. We were hanging out, and I was like, "Oh, we got to kind of wrap this up pretty soon. I have a storytelling show I got to get to." And she goes, "Boy, you do a lot of those storytelling shows. Do you always tell the same story?" And I said, "No, not always the same story. Depends. Usually it's a theme. You know, I don't know. I've told a bunch of different stories." She goes, "I don't know how you could do that. I don't have any stories." She said that to my face. I was like, what do you what? You have 3 adult children. Not one story from that? Not one day? Nothing? You've been married to the same guy for almost 50 years. Not one story. Not one thing you could squeeze out of that relationship. Nothing. You've worked at a police department for almost 40 years. Not one interesting day on the job? Nothing. I have a lot of stories that involve you. How is that fucking possible? I know you have. It blew my mind. Totally blew my mind until, because I like checked out. Because I was just trying to figure out, like, how did I even come from this person? That's insane. And then I got smashed back into the conversation when she just casually mentioned that she had an IUD when I was conceived. Casually mentioned that. I'm 35 years old. She just, "Oh yeah, I had one." And I was like, "Excuse me, you what?" And she's like, "Yeah, I had one, but it seemed like you wanted to be born so bad, we just kept you." "So what are you gonna get for dinner?" That was it. I was like, "What? Oh, it's not that you don't have any stories. It's that you're fucking terrible at telling stories." That's insane. That's a big story, no? That's a big day for other people. It does make sense, though, now learning that I am an IUD baby. Knowing that, it makes a lot of sense. Because truly, my whole life, I have been extremely lazy. Top 10 lazy. And I've never felt bad about it, not once. And I know that I should. You should feel bad about your shortcomings, you know? But I never felt bad about it, and I never knew why. But now knowing this, it makes total sense. Because literally, no matter what I do, no matter how poorly I do it, it's a fucking miracle. That's right. That's right. That last joke, not that good. But told by a ghost? Whoa!
Oh, what a show. What a show. Thank you for tuning in. And before we get to next episode's challenge, Adam, I think you've got some news you wanted to share.
Yep, my new album is out. Semblance of Normalcy, Comedy Central Records, wherever you get albums. iTunes, Spotify, it's out there. Check it out. And listen, I'm just a plug machine right now. I'm going to keep plugging things, and I'd like to plug our Patreon at this point. It's really growing fast. You guys have been so nice to support us this way. We very much appreciate it. And there's a lot of great content on there for those of you who are not Patreon members. You're missing out. For example, you can see, I think, 19 hours of us playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's unreal if you haven't checked that out. And again, we really appreciate the support. So sign up for Patreon. See what we got on there. A lot of good stuff.
Totally. You can also listen and subscribe for free anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Be sure to rate and review us and spread the word if you don't mind. And you can check us out on our socials at Grawlix Comedy.
As always, a huge thank you to our producer, Snippy Diplomat, Ron Doyle. I think that's what he came in on our personality test, Snippy Diplomat. I think
he
is
was
what it
exactly like you. So
Yeah.
Junior Ben.
Our theme music, as always, is provided by the swashbuckling Charlie Continental.
So what are we doing next? What's the next episode's challenge? Give it to me. Come on.
What if we lighten our loads?
Ooh, yeah, I know that kind of challenge. I did it once in, I would have been college years, but you guys know I didn't go to college.
What were you doing?
You're not talking about masturbating? Isn't that
Well,
weird?
no one puts the phonetic
Lighten the-
emphasis on it like that. But no, I'm
masturbating?
You're not talking about masturbating?
So we're going to lighten
you
our
gotta
load.
tune in next episode to see what we're talking about.
Yeah,
All right,
and
I
you
like it. And now this is my
favorite part of
the
it. Adam,
episode.
don't do that.
Everyone
It's
knows
Really?
I
I
live
can't
for
get enough of
this.
saying it.
No,
I love saying this. Is the only reason I do
no,
the podcast.
Play us out,
Play us out, Charlie.
Charlie.